Hello, welcome back. Another video. A little bit of a different one this time. It's not a full-on summon video this time. Wow. Okay. This time, it's gonna be a little bit more of a chat. Yeah, I'm gonna use my tickets and stuff, but I'm skipping this banner. This banner sucks. So I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about here. 4 points I was gonna mention about this banner and why I'm choosing to just skip it entirely. Like usually, I'll spark. Like 9 times out of 10, I spend money on the game, right? Like usually I'm gonna spark for shit, but Celestial Stones. This will be the first point I talk about here. Celestial Stones have lost a lot of value in my eyes recently. And the reason being is if you spend money on this game, the only thing a Celestial Stone is good for you for is Dragon Flowers. Right? Like let's just look at my inventory here. I will never trade my stones for refining stones, these coins for sacred seals. I'll never trade them for what are these things called? Form of Souls, because I always buy the packs anyway. I don't use these trait fruits enough to trade them for that either. What else is even in there? I think that's more or less it. So like the only thing worthwhile for someone who spends money on the game to trade those things for are Dragon Flowers. But even that's not worth it when you think about it. 1 stone equals 100 flowers. How many flowers do you need to max out a character? For a new character, not that much, right? Like what is it, 800 to max to put plus 5 flowers on a new character? Okay. But then if you want to do like an older character who can have 10 Dragon Flowers, for example, you need double that. And if you want to go a year before, a slightly older character, plus 15 flowers, need over 2,000. Like, it's ridiculous, right? Dragon Flowers are ridiculous. When you get to the point where you need thousands of Dragon Flowers to max a character you want to max, Celestial Stones hold very little meaning, because what am I going to do with 100 flowers? Nothing. More or less, I'm going to do nothing with them, right? So, it's pretty bad. So I no longer care about Celestial Stones that much. It's like, when I do need Dragon Flowers, I use a minimum of 10 Celestial Stones at a time to get flowers to max a character that I like just built or am building, whatever, right? It's not worth it. So that's the first point. The second point is, the main reason I actually decided I wanted to go in on this banner was for a copy of Harden. I was really wrong about his weapon. Really wrong. So when I first read Coyote's Lance, I thought his support was he gives an auto follow-up, but then I also thought he did the other stuff. I thought he gave the +6 attack speed, the damage reduction, the clash effect. I thought he did all that shit. No. I read that completely wrong. And the reason why I read that wrong is because it's only like the stipulations in quotation marks. That's what he can give a buff of to his allies, and then everything afterwards is only for himself. I didn't realize that, so that was me being a little bit dumb. So the only support he really offers his cavalry allies is he gives them an auto double. That is cute. It's not near as good as I thought it was. It's not good enough to warrant summoning a copy of him, that's for damn sure. So I no longer care about Harden, which was initially what was drawing me to summon in the first place. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Next point will be Tiki. I'll talk about Tiki. I don't care about Tiki. I really don't care about this character. I'm sure she's good. I'm sure she'll be really good. But Omni tanks, typically you want them to be +10. You want them to have max flowers. You want them to have, the optimal boon and floret. Like, Omni tanks, while they're good, it's hard to make them good. Like, I'm just speaking from experience, right? Like, I've tried the Omni Tank thing, and it's in my experience, if you don't have them completely capped out and maxed, they're not gonna do their job efficiently. So I don't really like Omni Tank playstyle anymore these days. I like to go with specialized builds nowadays. So that's the main reason why I don't like Tiki, and it's the main reason I don't like Brave Tiki either. Like, this is basically just a red Brave Tiki who's a little bit, I don't want to say better. They're probably like a side grade of each other. Like, this is a red Brave Tiki who has a speed stat and less bulk, but Brave Tiki is green and she has higher bulk but lower speed. But they do, aside from that, they do similar things. They have a very similar playstyle. So that's the main reason why I don't really care for Tiki. I mean, I don't really like Tiki as a character anyway. It's, it's what it is. What it is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, ordinarily, if I don't like an ascended unit, but they have good fodder, I'll summon for them anyways, right? Like, I have some ascended characters that I never use, but I'll father them off. Like, ascended units, they don't have any special gimmicks in any game mode, so merging them up is pointless. Except for, like, Fjorm. I plus 10 Fjorm when she came out, but, like, that's different. She's an armor unit, so you can use her in arena. She has high BST, but she's also incredibly strong. So, like, if she's gonna tank for you, you want her to have as many stats as she can handle. So merging up Ascended Fjorm makes sense. Same with Adun, but we don't talk about Adun. So yeah. The reason why I brought that up is because their fodder is awkward. What the hell am I gonna do with this? Speed res finish and speed res bulwark? That's very niche fodder. Like, it's basically fodder that it would be best used on her herself, right? Like, if I got a copy of her to fodder, I don't know, I have absolutely zero idea. I can't even think of one character I have that I would put that fodder on. Like, it's just awkward. If it was attack and speed, sure, I'd spark a copy of her, because I want a lot of attack speed finish fodder. Speed res, though? No thanks, that's not it. You can keep that. Now, if she had attack speed bulwark, I would have sparked for that as well, because I actually want to put attack speed bulwark on my young Ike. But, like, speed res, again, that's an awkward combo. It's a bulwark that would only be good on a dragon, and I'm pretty sure bulwarks can only go on infantry dragons. And, like, again, she's the only one that's, like, that would use that specific combo of speed and res, because a lot of the other infantry dragons that exist are, like, kind of slow and tanky, right? Because, like, I'm trying to think, there's Saros, or, like, you would rather just have, like, Dragon Wall probably. Anyway, so that's the end of that. And then, as well as the Floret, I've always said that I would spark for a Floret no matter what. But it's hard because there's nothing on this banner for me. There's nothing here I want. The fodder isn't anything that I need. So, like, in a world where I spark this Tiki just for the Floret, I'm not going to use her to use, and I'm not going to use her for fodder. So it's just, I'd rather just wait and either get her as an off focus or pick her up later on in another banner where she's color sharing with something that I actually want. So, as much as I would love to have the Floret, it's not, I don't have a dire need for it, so whatever, I'll get it later. The other thing I'll talk about is arcane weapons. Not Ganglot as a character. I don't really have an opinion on her as a character, but I was going to talk about arcane weapons in general. When they first came out, it was a really cool concept when they first came out, right? And it was really exciting. It was something new. It was something to think about. The more I think about arcane weapons, the less I like them. Think about it. What are these weapons who are these weapons marketed for? If you get yourself a copy of an arcane weapon, what are you going to do with it? You're going to put it on an old unit, or a unit who has gotten a refine that sucks. That's primarily what you're going to use them for. But again, as someone who spends money on the game, I'm not looking to use old, dated units who have fallen from the meta, and I don't want to, like, bust my ass to get them back in the meta. I want to use newer, shinier toys that are, you know, easy to use, because I'm bad at this game and I need stuff that make things easy. So, for me personally, arcane weapons are like a non-issue. If I get a copy, cool. I'll, like, for example, oops, that's not what I want to do. For example, I built Bertram because I got a copy of Liv, right? But that was a good banner. I wanted copies of Hilda and Shez, and I sparked Liv because I could. And I actually did want to build Bertram. Like, oops. Anyways.
I do not know it.
But this build solidifies my point. It's cool, it's fun, it was fun to do, but now that I have him, I mean, I'm not... the only time I'm ever going to use him is when he's randomly a bonus unit in Arena. But, like, aside from that, I don't use him, and I can't think of where or when I would use him aside from that. So it's kind of like a non-issue. He's just going to sit in my barracks until, like, that one time out of the year where he's going to be a random bonus unit. So that's, like, kind of the way I look at arcane weapons now. So I don't really care about them. Yeah. Also, something I realized, I noticed about them is they're kind of generic as of right now, right? Like, they all have a very similar... Like, they all have... If you put all three arcane weapons side by side that we have right now, especially Arcane Downfall and Arcane Grima, especially those two, they have almost identical abilities. The only one that's a little bit different is the sword, but again, it's still similar in a way. Like, they all give the 5 stats, they all give some form of special charging or negating. This one and the Grima both have the heal thing at the end. They all have some version of denying a follow-up or giving a follow-up, or in the sword's case, both. So, I don't know. They're starting to seem generic, which isn't bad, because as generacy goes, this is good. It's really good. But it's not as good as current PRF weapons, and I think that's what IS is going for. In my mind, arcane weapons are being marketed towards free-to-play players to give them a more premium option for easier to build characters. Like, you're gonna put this on a Grail unit. You're putting them on units that don't have PRF weapons. So you're putting them on 3 to 4 stars and Grail units. So yeah, and that's just, so I don't need arcane weapons. If I get them, cool, I'll use them, it'll be fun, but it's whatever. And then her fodder, while being good, I don't need it. So, and that's it. That's basically it. The more I thought about this banner, and all these thoughts came to my mind, and I was thinking about it and digesting it, I was like, I'm actually gonna skip this banner. You know what I mean? And I don't skip a lot of banners, and I don't like skipping banners, but like, the more I thought about the Celestial Stone thing, and like, ascended units are in a permanent pool, I can eventually get that Floret again anyways. It's not that big a deal. So, yeah. And that's it. So I'll do my 5 freebies, and that'll basically be it, I guess. I think I'm just gonna pull reds to try and get the Floret now, but that's like, if I don't get it, I don't get it. It's fine. And yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts basically. So I'm just gonna fire through these summons, and that'll pretty much be it. Look at all these potential tikis. I don't care. Oh, I'm getting all kinds of reds. Nice. Maximize my chances of getting that Floret. Initially, I was gonna pull every red and every green that popped up, but then I was like, nah, fuck that. Alright, cool. So we got nothing, but that's fine. I highly anticipated getting nothing anyways. Honestly, the biggest bummer is that I misread Harden's Coyote Lance. That sucks. I thought he was gonna be such a good support, but he's like kind of only okay. So that's it. That's the pseudo summon video. It was more of a thoughts in chat video, but you know, I appreciate you checking out all the same. Please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know if you have any kind of thoughts of your own, and we'll check you in the next one. Later.
We gotta let it get back, baby, we can fight so, you know you had to kill her,